Luke 22:42. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done.
If a man or woman frequents their prayer closet on a regular and daily basis, but their life bears no commitment to God in the other rooms of their life, then their prayers are by and large dull and lifeless and possibly even unheard. To have the power of God in our praying, we must be willing to submit to the will of God in every room of our life. Such is the example of the prayer maker. The Lord taught us to pray this way: Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. The prayer maker tells us that we should surrender and submit and in full and total allegiance to God, yield to His desires for our life. That His will must supersede all of our wants and all of our wishes. That's the only way that you can truly pray obediently to the Father. And Christ, the prayer maker, He didn't just teach us to pray that way. That's the way He lived. That's the way He prayed. Everything He did on this earth was in accordance to following God's plan. He lived in obedience and full submission to the work of God. You know, John in his epistle said this about obedience in prayer. He said this: whatsoever we ask, we receive of Him, because we keep His commandments and do those things that are pleasing in His sight. You know, John said you can ask whatsoever. That's broad. That's a big term. But in the broadness of asking whatsoever we will, it's always in conjunction and connection with keeping His commandments. It's always in connection with obeying the will of the Father. That brings us to our prayer maker principle of the day.
It is an incongruent notion to pray and not obey the will of the Father. Our willful submission in the prayer closet has far-reaching consequences throughout every area of life. To pray and not obey is not to really pray at all.
You know, the truth is, the act of prayer itself is obedience. We are instructed to pray. We are to pray without ceasing. We are to pray and faint not. So the fact that we go into the prayer closet in that secret place and pray, we are on some level obeying the will of the Father. But the true prayer maker takes it further. He goes out of that secret place and he lives unto God in every room of his life. He gathers all the compartments of his life, all the thoughts of his mind, all the desires of his heart, and he lays them on the altar of surrender. And at the altar of surrender, we can pray as Christ instructed us to pray. Not my will, but thy will be done.